Firestorm!
Alright, here we are. Time to get spooky. And also time to find out who killed Chihiro. Pretty sure Byakuya did it, but so, is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind or are we missing someone? Yeah, Toko's not here. And Toko is...
You really don't remember?
Kidding. I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time. Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please.
And just like he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared dragging Toko behind him.
I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. Can't believe he would drag a girl around. Terrible. You're terrible. Whew, so now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there. So, shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro.
Chihiro Fujisaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone standing right here.
I gave you plenty to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. There is something odd about Toko's behavior. I do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. That's all you have to say? I guess I wasn't much help at all on this one. Miss Fujisaki, I must admit it, for being 3D, she was quite remarkable. Of course, the idea of 3D makes me cringe. I don't know why the killer did what they did, but I'm sure it'll work itself out. Justice always prevails, right, bro? Fucking Toko, man. It's got her so worked up. Shall we begin? I will uncover the villain who performed such heinous acts on a weaker individual. You ready? We doing this? Alright.
We have no choice, right? We have to do this.
Yes.
I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. And soon everyone was on. The elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. As we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation, until finally, it came to a sudden stop.
What do you think? I redecorated it. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with. Good. You're rip-raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all. Okay then, let's get this show on the road. Everyone, please find your assigned seats.
And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, deadly defense, a deadly faith, deadly class trial.
This is like a reverse Utena. Zetai unme moku shiroku. Zetai unme moku shiroku. Okay. Increases the influence gauge by 2. Focus gauge recovers more quickly, effective during the non-stop debate, the Hangman's Gambit, and the bullet time battle. Ooh, I might go with that, because it's effective in like so many different... Oh, I can equip all of these, I think. Yeah. Got 14 SP, and all my skills together only take up 9. Okay, and I figure, you know, truth bullets, you know, the game already lets you know which ones are going to be used, so no need to look at that. Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial, so your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, so then, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon.
First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow.
Alright. Just gotta figure out which statement to hit with this bad boy. Okay, that's true. No, it wasn't. Fuck. How do I go faster? No. Shit, let's see. How do I make it go faster? I forgot. The control key, okay. Fuck yo, iron pipe. That's wrong.
Can we agree that the object that was dealt Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood. There was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one. You looked at her head wound? God, that's so creepy. If you don't mind, I'll proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear. What? For real? Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro?
Oh, new element's been added to non-stop debates. For this debate, lines of white noise will disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. There's one way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the right mouse button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all, in which case you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Okay, the Genocide Jack case file.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? It's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library? The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth, so let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder. Oh, that's right. Bloodlust. Oh, what did he actually say? Oh, booblust. No, it's actually bloodlust. But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that's never been made public. Never been made public? What the hell is it? Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body. Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack. No fucking way. You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us? Yes, in fact, it's Toko. What? Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa. You lie! What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood? Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no. Another riddle? Man, why's this gotta be so complicated?
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right?
Alright, here we go. Nope. Never mind, we got a Hangman's Gambit on our hands. Okay, I feel like there's an S here. Yes. She's a fucking schizo. Come on, give me an O. No, wrong one. Yes. Even though that's not how schizophrenia works, schizophrenia and DID are two entirely different disorders, but...
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file, too. I thought that the suspect might have, what do they call it, dissociative identity disorder?
Okay, but still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior when seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior.
Yeah, she turned into a goddamn zombie.
You talked about how she started acting like a fucking zombie, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she woke, when she saw Chihiro's. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse. And then when she woke up, I'm fine. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared. Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission. Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was totally calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can. Inside of her are two wolves. One is gay, and the other is gay. So when Toko trapped herself in a room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack? The reason she locked herself in a room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out. What? Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her, of killing even more people. How? Yeah, how can you know all this? I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No, what she wants to know is, how could you tell them? Huh? Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her. She was afraid it would appear and attack at any time. That trepidation is what caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko? This is all a lie, right, Toko? You said you wouldn't tell anyone. What? You promised. I can't believe you lied. You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. Said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise... What a fucking dick. Man, I hope Byakuya's the fucking killer, just so we can execute his ass. You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised. How many times do I have to say you? How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you? I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but your efforts were useless. What a disappointment. I hate you. Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear it from the person in question directly. The person? You don't mean...
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. Huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Oh shit. Well, hello there. Is it me you were hoping to see? Yeah, well, what the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill. What the fuck is this? Toko, what happened to you? Not Toko, that's a loser name. What happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults. She's so intense. Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body. This one is so different from the one we've come to know. Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another soul that shines as bright as the sun.
This is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane.
Miss Jill, can I ask you a question? What's up? Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds. Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true. How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society and the outside world are totally pointless. Or powerless, that too. I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town. Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again. This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt. A motive? Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to life, Toko's life would have... If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit. Huh? But I can't imagine anyone other than you would murder someone in such a bizarre fashion. Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth. Do you really expect any of us to believe you? Yeah, I can never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all this.
Alright. That's not even a statement, that's just maniacal laughter. Okay, so there are only two statements that I can press here. And yeah, one of them could be true or false, so I'm gonna try the other one. Worst that happens, I lose, like, a heart. Yep. Okay, turns out I shot the right statement.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different? Uh-oh. You don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you. I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? Be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. It's no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. There's one clear difference between the murders. The photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here you'll see a clear difference. For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed in the same way. According to the case files, They were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills in the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? There's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So you are saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see the difference.
Yeah, that motherfucking extension cord.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They'd used some kind of rope to hang her by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern here just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lowly girl.
Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims and Chihiro didn't fit it. If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is... I think I figured out. I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro.
Because Chihiro was a girl.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack victims, all the victims had something in common. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30.
Yeah. They were all guys?
That's right. The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men. God, I can't believe I said it. I'm so embarrassed.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it. I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam. So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her? Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction across that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy, but that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur.
Lowly cur.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect. That does make some amount of sense. Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave without my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell? Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school? Any scissors?
I don't use just any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors. Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school. Are you sure about that? Da-da-da-da! She's fully equipped. That's right. So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you. Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot, so rope's totally out of the question anyway. I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent? But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah, that's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases.
Boop, 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 boop. I'm coming for you, fucker.